We are back in the studio with another amazing agent. We've got Forrest in the studio with us. Forrest, thanks for coming in today to talk a little bit about your journey as a real estate agent and your background.
Of course.
So I guess the first thing we got to talk about is how this all got started. How'd you get to Kenmore Team? What were you doing?
So I was service industry all the way up till I started real estate, basically.
Love it.
Yeah. And right before I joined the team, I had made it to general manager, worked my way up, was super stoked, realized I had no desire to do that for the rest of my life. And so that week, I just decided I was going to step down, be a server, wait. I was going to go to school, get my teaching degree, or go into real estate. And I'd always thought it would be a really cool thing to do with all my background. And that night, had this couple come and sit at my table who happened to be wearing Kenmore shirts.
Yep.
Yeah. And they said they just worked in the office doing this and that. And turns out it was you and Karen.
Yep. I remember this.
And I just remember we had a great conversation about how I wanted to do real estate. I thought it would be really cool. I'd love to work at your team, but not sure you would hire a new guy with absolutely no real estate background. And took it as a sign. That night, went home, got my license. 3 weeks later, I think you guys had just gotten back from your anniversary trip for the year.
Yep.
3 weeks later, walked in and was like, hey, I got my license. Can I work here? And you were like, there's no way.
Yeah.
Yep. So,
I love, people must just get pissed when they see me come in their restaurant because I love like stealing good customer service, industry people. Like, you just know, like you're just getting, and I think Karen and I just had that feeling that night about you, like, and it makes sense that you had stepped down from a management position, and were being a server because you were just too good at it. I mean, like literally, like I remember thinking I'm like, this guy's way too good at this to be, to be a server here. Like, man, if we can transfer those skills to homes, a little bit bigger ticket item.
yeah.
I mean, the crab wasn't cheap, but still, like if we can get to a bigger ticket item, this guy's going to crush it. And then I think too, like, it's pretty rare. I mean, that you signed up for a class and then got your license in 3 weeks. I remember telling Karen, I was like, okay, that's pretty rare. I think like I'm really next level crazy. And I think mine was like, I might have done my class in like 2.5 weeks, didn't sleep, just knocked it out. And usually it takes people, really fast, I would say sometimes is a month. And then sometimes, so when someone comes back in and gets their license, I was like, no way, dude, show me your certificate. And you're like, no, I took this in-person class and I went every day. And I was like, damn, okay. This guy's, he put in the work. And so fast forward, we've had an amazing,
coming up on
4 years. I was going to say an amazing 3 years. And you've sold a ton of homes and helped a ton of customers, make their dreams come true and get into these homes. But what would you say, like, how did your time in the customer service industry, how did that help you transition to real estate?
Interesting question. Okay, so for me, it's probably a little different than most servers. I, as you know, am a huge foodie. I love food. I love cooking food. I love eating good food, and I love sharing good food with other people. So I think the reason why I was good in the service industry was because I loved what I was talking about. I loved talking about the food to people.
Yep.
Real estate has felt like the same thing. I love what I sell. I love the team I'm on. It's easy to sell and do what you love. I loved the win-win aspect of giving people good food that they wanted, and then I got paid for it. It was great.
Yeah.
This same thing. I help people find their homes. I help them find what they need, tailored to what they told me, rather than just hey, generic, this is what I think will work for you. I love listening to those needs, supplying the answer, and that kind of adventure win-win situation where you find that home for them and you're like, this is the one. and they're like, there's no way. And then they go look at it and they're like, this is the home for me. You were 100% right. It's just really fun. And that aspect, that building trust, that listening to others and what they want, their needs, their desires, and transferring that over to a sale, I think is what has helped me the most. And the confidence with doing that, you know?
Yeah.
If I hadn't had those years of service doing that and realizing I could read someone's needs and supply that, even if it wasn't exactly what they thought they wanted, that fun and joy of seeing them get that when it was me and us working together was just great.
That's awesome. And then I think you kind of touched on something. You touched on, you talked about the confidence in a process. And so moving is a giant process. Like people like normally like it's like a pressure cooker of stress. Like people don't realize when you move their environment and change their environment, how stressful that is.
So tell me.
And so, but you have a background of like, how many times have you moved?
As of 2 weeks ago, I'm up to 38 moves in my life, 10 states. And during all of those moves, the crazy part is I lived in the last house up until 2 weeks ago for the last 8 years. So all of that was before the age of 24.
Wow.
Last 8 years have all been in Kennewick. Just moved to a new house in Kennewick.
Yeah.
But yeah, I moved a lot. I've seen a lot of the country,
And
a lot
so
of different places.
you developed, I think, that had to have, because not a lot of humans do that. Even in today's job market changing and move stuff, like that's pretty rare. Like I can say maybe 2 or 3 people I've met and I've met a lot of people being in real estate. That's what we do, that have moved that many times. So you have an ease ability with it when a customer, like I've seen you with your customers, like customers are freaking out, but you're always like, this is going to be okay. It's got to be the experience factor in those moves for you that make it okay for you.
They've applied a lot. It's been very easy, especially with, anyone moving in any situation, even if it's just in the same town.
Yeah.
Changing school districts, even if you're not. Just there's a lot that goes into it, a lot of pressure. And like you said, I've gotten used to that. And it's easy to translate that confidence and like, hey, it's going to be okay. You're going to love this. It's going to work for you. And work through those problems. Sometimes, you do put on a little bit of a counselor or psychologist hat or something.
Oh, yes,
and
absolutely.
you're like, no, let's walk through why this is scary. And then luckily for me, I have the personal experience to say, hey, I totally get that. That XYZ was scary, but this is what helped me get through it, rather than, oh, I've heard this works.
So would you say if people are interviewing real estate agents and they've got 3 they've narrowed it down to, let's have them ask all 3 of your agents, how many times have you moved? And if it's less than 38, call this guy.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's our new litmus test for hiring you. Okay.
I love it. We might have a few less agents.
Okay. Perfect. And then I always ask people, just kind of a fun thing to wrap up. Like what's one non-real estate, like what's a hill that you'll die on? Like me, and people get mad at me and we've lost half of our viewers because I will, it's pineapple on pizza. I'm dying on the hill. Bring the pineapple on my pizza. So I'm dying on. What's your non-real estate hill that you're going to die on?
I don't know. We might lose the other half. So for me, as we all know in the office, I'm kind of the biggest nerd here.
Okay.
I love my Star Wars a lot.
There might be a Star Wars Lego ship on your desk.
There is.
Okay,
Hey,
gotcha.
It's beautiful.
Okay.
But my hill I'm going to die on is, unless you grew up with it and there's a nostalgia factor, the original trilogy is by far the worst of all Star Wars made.
Is the worst?
Is the worst. Objectively speaking, if you are not applying as a nostalgia factor, it's awful.
Like even the little furry Ewoks running around?
You know what? They saved the franchise. People love them.
Okay.
But
gotcha.
no, if objectively speaking, if you aren't nostalgia for it, I think that's just you've decided.
You're dying on this
I'm
hill.
dying on that hill.
Okay, well with that, call in if you need a discussion. Forrest he can still be your agent, I think. We're going to wrap up with that. Well, thanks for all of the clients you help and the people in the industry you're changing the landscape of Tri-Cities and home ownership with every client you help. So thank you for that.
No, thank you. I love it.